What's happening, Hardscapers? Today we're talking about when you should be building a raised patio. Let's get into this. All right, this is a project we did 3 years ago now. This is a Teco block raffinado wall raised patio with para on the inside. That's para grade nickel, and this is onyx black raffinado caps and wall block. We've also built this, and this was my first fire pit, gas fire pit. This is a graphics wall along with a raffinado cap and a warming trends burner. I love the way this project turned out, but one question that I get quite often from clients as well as on this channel is, why do I need to build a raised patio and when do I need to build a raised patio? Ultimately, what it comes down to is the change in grade. For example, there is our bottom of our sill there going into the house, our threshold, and our client wanted no step there. So for us to build it with no step, we would have to have it elevated somehow to deal with the grade change. You can see how the grade really drops off over here. And as I come around, I can show you a little bit better. And even with that grade change, you can see how steep it really gets here. We still had to build up this area a bit just to keep that to one step down for that actual raised patio. However, if we were to build this where there was a step there down, we could actually build this on grade, because you can see along here, this is more or less already on grade. Even though we built a wall underneath this, it's a buried course. If we went one step down, we may even need a retaining wall along here, just a small little edge, maybe about 4 inches high, to be able to build a patio on this existing grade. So as you can see there, going into the house, there is a small little step up. Now, if we were to go have a step at the same height as the current patio and then 6 inches down or 7 inches for a regular step, that would make us have to have some sort of regrade right here, because as you can see, we have only got a cap 2 3/8 of an inch high. If we were to have a step there 6 inches, we would need 4 more inches there, which means we would have to regrade this area into the patio. And that could mean wash out onto the patio. So we might want to have like some sort of edging stone there. Or we could build a retaining wall, especially if this was a much larger steep of a slope. We would have to retain this area. In this case, that would only be about 4 inches or so of a retaining wall. But in this case, we did decide to build a raised patio. As you can see, maybe just barely see, there is a buried course underneath that cap. And then when we do build our retaining walls, we'll also build a wall along the foundation, just so this patio acts completely independently. It's not putting any pressure on the foundation, or especially never build against the actual masonry here. If I go on this side, you can see because it is a much steeper slope coming off here, and this is especially why we needed a raised patio on this side. So now you can really see that retaining wall there, and then you can barely see the buried course down under there, and then even more so over there, and then we have a buried course underneath that one. This is why we needed a raised patio to deal with this aggressively sloping yard. And then we built a lower patio there, and in that case we actually had to regrade this area to build up to this lower patio. Built a nice little gas fire feature, which is actually my very first gas fired feature. And now when we build gas fired features, we do natural stone caps as opposed to concrete caps. I just think it looks much better, especially around the edges and the bottom of them. So this is why I like natural stone cap as opposed to concrete cap there. Although we opted for actually easy joint, a semi-permeable product in this raised patio, it is not recommendable for these tight joints. We actually have to use a knife to kind of get it in there along with some water. So going forward, if I was to do para again, I would go for blue grande as opposed to this, which we've actually done on our newest pool patio, because this just got much wider joints than this to allow for that water to go in. But the design worked. We allow water to go through. This is built on open graded base, so that water goes all the way down. It collects and exfiltrates out. With a raised patio, it's always easy to have some sort of outlet coming out at a lower area And with a raised patio, there's always a lower area for that water to come down into. So whenever you're doing a consult for a client, or you're speaking with a client, or you're doing your own DIY project, you need to look at the grade of your project and decide whether or not you can actually build a patio on top of that grade, or if that grade is too steep, then you may actually have to build a raised patio to be able to build a patio that has a 1/8 of an inch per foot slope on it, up to about 1/4 of an inch per foot slope. In this case, we did not opt for that step. We opted for this raised patio here. So when it comes to finding the grade of your backyard, the most economical way to do this would be to tie a string line with a line level. Make sure the string line is level. Have a pin at the start of your patio by the foundation or the threshold to the step up into your house, and then a string line to the very end of the patio away from the foundation. Once again, make sure that's level. You can then measure the distance from the first pin to the last pin in feet, and then multiply that by whether you're gonna go a 1/8 of an inch per foot slope or a 1/4 of an inch per foot slope. And then just as an example, if you're going 1/8 of an inch per foot slope and you have a patio that's gonna be 8 feet in length, very small I know, but easy numbers here, that's 1/8 of an inch per foot, 8 feet, that's 8 out of 8, and that is a 1 inch. So if your string line at the very end of your patio can go down 1 inch and you still have enough room there that it's gonna be not extremely high compared to your grade, you can definitely go ahead with that patio on grade with no raised patio. You do have a little bit of wiggle room with that measurement though. You can go up to a 1/4 of an inch per foot, which would double that 1 inch to 2 inches. But then you also have the height of your paver, which is typically 2 3/8 of an inch. So going a 1/4 of an inch per foot at an 8-foot patio, that gives you 2 inches plus the 2 3/8 of an inch paver, and that's 4 3/8 of an inch. Anything more than that, and then you're getting into the 1 inch bedding layer, and that can slip away without being contained. So at that point, you're getting into a slight regrade of your property to be able to contain that bedding layer. And then beyond that 1 inch is getting into your base material, which you definitely don't want eroding away. Now you can definitely regrade your property. That might be a little bit more work, but definitely less than a raised patio. However, if your regrade is getting close to the fence, you have less room to actually regrade, which means you're getting definitely into a raised patio. But if you need to regrade, say 4 inches to ensure that that base material and bedding layer is going to be contained and to get to the height of your paver as well, you want to make sure that you have sufficient amount of feet away from the fence or away from the property line to be able to ensure that you're going to regrade. It's not going to be too steep, and you can ensure that you're containing that base and bedding layer. Once again, if you don't have that room, you're getting into a raised patio build. In the future, we will have a raised patio installation step-by-step tutorial on this channel. And if you're interested in that, leave a comment in the comment section below. As well as any other questions that you may have, leave it in the comment section below. Like this video if you found it helpful for whatever reason, and subscribe to this YouTube channel for more hardscaping content like this. Thank you so much for watching.